This is the Sunseeker V3 wireless robot lawnmower, a smart, hands-off way to keep your lawn trimmed without breaking a sweat. If you've ever been frustrated by tangled extension cords, clunky old mowers, or the usual hassle that comes with yard work, you might want to hear about my experience with this little machine. I've had this mower for 3 weeks now, and honestly, I was a bit skeptical when I first took it out of the box. The idea of an automatic robot handling my entire lawn? It sounded too good to be true, especially at this size, since my yard isn't enormous, but it's not a postage stamp either. About the shape and feel, I'd say the Sunseeker V3 looks pretty slick. It's finished in a kind of silver gray, has a smooth, compact design, and feels lighter than it looks at just about 20 pounds. When you pick it up or move it, it's clear it's built for everyday use rather than being just a flashy gadget. The buttons are simple, the control panel straightforward, and there aren't any confusing toggles. I appreciate that the display and the app are both easy to navigate for someone who isn't a tech expert. I also liked that there aren't a bunch of wires to snake around the garden. It sits on a tidy charging dock that fits pretty much anywhere near an outlet or a back patio. From my experience, the biggest worry was whether it'd actually do its job well, or just become another tool collecting dust in the garage. Setup was way easier than I expected. You just download the Sunseeker app, scan a code, and connect the mower to your Wi-Fi. Adjusting basic settings took under 3 minutes, and I had the base station set up in a spot with good coverage, but out of everyone's way. It asks you to set up zones if your lawn has separate areas, which mine does, thanks to a stone path and little flower beds. I use the provided magnetic markers, which are a lot more user-friendly than laying down boundary wires like old models require. That meant the mower could handle my main yard and a smaller side patch without any fuss. Key features that stood out to me are the Vision AI obstacle avoidance, the slope capability, and how it cuts right up to the edges of my garden. The Vision VI system, which basically means the machine has 2 eyes up front, is designed to help it spot and dodge obstacles in 3 dimensions. At first, I put a couple of garden chairs and even some kid toys out there as a test, and this thing just rolled around them like it could see. It's kind of fun to watch. I never had to worry about it running into the dog, furniture, or even the garden hose. For anyone with kids, pets, or multiple random items on the lawn, that's a big relief. The noise level is another plus. At 55 decibels, it's quieter than my coffee maker. I've run it early in the mornings and even later in the evening, and it never bothered my neighbors or woke up the house. My dog mostly just sits by and ignores it while it trundles around, so I'd say it really does live up to its pet-friendly claim. In terms of mowing, the Sunseeker V3 can handle slopes that reach up to 22 degrees, which was perfect for my backyard with a couple of uneven spots. A lot of cheap robot mowers might get stuck or miss parts of the lawn, especially around edges or sidewalks, but this one keeps a clean line along the borders, even where grass meets stone. Cutting width is about 8 inches, which sounds narrow on paper, but it's more efficient than you'd expect, since it steadily works section by section and doesn't miss corners. The other thing I appreciate is how little I have to actually babysit it. Once it's programmed, I just tap start in the app and let it work. If it rains, it senses water and heads right back to the base to protect itself. When the battery is low, it finds its way back to recharge. I haven't had to mess with it at all, besides giving it a quick spray with the hose for cleaning. It's designed with an IPX5 waterproof rating, meaning you don't have to worry about getting caught in a light drizzle, and maintenance is basically non-existent. The included lithium-ion battery lasts for plenty of mowing sessions on a single charge, especially if you set it to mow 2 or 3 times a week. I've yet to see it run out of juice mid-task. What I really like about the Sunseeker V3 is how much time and effort it saves me. Before this, mowing was a chore I dreaded. Hauling around a heavy mower, spilling gas, pulling the cord, adjusting the height, and then still having to edge by hand. Now, it's basically set and forget. I can schedule the job through the app or run it on demand. The cut quality is consistent, and the grass actually looks better than when I used to do it by hand, probably because the robot keeps to a routine rather than my on and off approach. If you're new to robotic mowers, Let me clarify a couple of the terms. One-touch start just means you hit a button and the mower gets going. No complicated setup or pushing old-fashioned levers. Vision AI is the technology that lets it recognize and avoid things like garden gnomes, kid shoes, hoses, clubs, or anything else scattered around. And self-charging is exactly what it sounds like. It goes back to its charger when it's tired or when weather conditions aren't ideal. There are a few things that aren't perfect. The mower is intended for smaller lawns, up to about 0.15 acre or 6,400 square feet. For homeowners with larger properties, you'll probably need to look at a bigger model or just stick with traditional mowing. Also, while setup is straightforward, you still need a couple of minutes to get familiar with the app and how the boundaries work. If you rush through the initial steps, you might not get the best results. In really uneven terrain, with big roots or holes, there's a small chance the mower might get tripped up or stuck, but honestly, it's rare. I've only had that happen once when it got tangled up in overgrown weeds near an old stump. A few times I found myself checking just to make sure it didn't wander off or miss a spot, but it always corrected itself and finished the job by the end. After using it for 3 weeks, my lawn looks neater and healthier, and it's been nice to reclaim the chunk of time I used to spend every weekend mowing. In conclusion, I'd recommend the Sunseeker V3 if you want simple, hands-off lawn care and you don't have a huge property. From my experience, this mower delivers consistent results, operates quietly, is gentle enough to be around pets, and pretty much removes all the headaches or mess of mowing your own lawn. The app's great for scheduling and tracking, the machine's easy to clean, and the peace of mind from its obstacle detection is hard to overstate. It's perfect for busy families, pet owners, or anyone looking for an easy way to keep their yard in great shape while barely lifting a finger. To learn more about the Sunseeker V3 wireless robot lawnmower, please check the comments section. Thank you for watching.